You said you didn't have a lot of time to edit today.
Yeah, if we could just maybe keep this one shorter. And
All right, hit it, Stitch.
Look, so the thing is...
We're keeping this in. Hit it, Stitch.
No, look. Hey, it's Stitch here.
Hey, it's Stitch here.
Yeah, hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is now. Boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Hey, it's Stitch here.
No, hey.
Oh man,
It's just.
sorry.
I think
It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
that voice is so much fun that I
yeah.
just felt like I had to come in on that. But we're back. It's Matt and Tyler from Until We Agree. Stitch is not present. He's in rehab. Actually, we sent him to rehab.
Yeah, and I appreciate you not making me do all those edits. Like I said, I don't have a ton of time to edit this week, so I appreciate you not hitting it, having anyone else hit it right now.
Not yet. If it comes, it comes though.
Yeah. So.
And so you never know, because I heard there's a little bathroom story that Hit It Hitch.
Keep my wife's name out.
Is
Hit it, Hitch.
Keep my wife's name out.
No, why did I say it?
oh no, I meant Hutch too.
Yeah.
Hit it, Hutch.
You know what?
Oh, dude.
And so
I'm gonna work on this.
I'm
forever.
breaking all the rules.
Yeah. Oh no.
If you don't have time to edit this though, the people will understand. Here, we can do it. Keep my wife's name, and then when we do the Hutch thing, you can just drag this audio over, and then
Okay.
it'll be indistinguishable from the normal clips. And then the Hutch, it'll be dum dum dum. You know what it is, and then
Okay.
And now we've hit it.
And what? Okay, hit it, Stitch one more time. Why not?
Hey, it's Stitch here.
Okay, good. So bathroom.
Hey,
okay.
Stitch is walking here.
Okay, man. Look, I got a bathroom story that I think you're gonna really like.
No, I'd love to hear it.
So-
You texted me last week saying you had a bathroom story.
Yeah, which was we record on Mondays, and I texted you on Tuesday about this one. So it's been sitting in the chamber here for a while. This is unprecedented because everyone who's a Rat Pack member knows Hutch makes our music, and Hutch has commented that when he listens to the podcast, there's a lot of bathroom stories pretty close to where his professional music goes, because he's an actual musician who makes actual music and is very talented. But he did call out once that, wow, there's a lot of bathroom talk on the Until We Agree podcast, which I do have my name attached to. But do we have good news for everyone else who's not named Hutch right now? I have a bathroom story that Hutch was present for. And
no way.
That in itself is pretty special. So let me set the stage for you really quick. Last Tuesday, my favorite band of all time, and Hutch is a big fan as well, Lawrence the band. You're a big fan as well. I think you're going to go see them here soon live as well.
Friday.
Call it the same tour. Why not?
They
were in town, and we got tickets to go see them at a place here in Nashville, and it was very strange. So we got there right before doors opened. So there's like a holding area inside where like merch is set up and everything is, but you can't get into the venue until 7. And it's like 6:45ish. So we're just kind of waiting in this extra room, waiting for them to open the actual venue doors. And that's where the bathrooms are.
Is
and
it
everything.
Music Marathon?
Yeah, Music Marathon works, no less.
'Cause the only reason I knew that is because we had the exact same experience seeing the same band.
We saw
at
Lawrence at that venue together, and now we live so far apart, and that's a relief to me in so many ways. But yeah, me and Hutch went this time.
And Hutch had to relieve himself, I'm hearing.
No, I went to the bathroom,
Okay.
as one does, who is a person.
Not illegal.
It's not. Something that felt illegal though happened when I was in there. So, like I said, the merch area is set up right out there as well. And so there's a pretty long line at the merch table, and then just to the right of the merch table are the bathrooms. Again, nothing feels weird yet, right? This just feels like a story.
Okay.
Not even a story.
Yeah.
It just feels like something that happened.
Something that transpired, yeah.
Yeah, and Hutch is around, of course. So let's make it clear. Hutch is around for this bathroom story. So I go in, but something I catch right away that I do find to be a little bit odd is the doors for both the men's and women's restrooms are wide open, propped open, which again is not unusual. No, it is unusual because it was like a door situation. It wasn't like where you like walk around a corner to get inside where there is no door.
Oh, you could just see right in.
You can pretty much see right in, and it's like you don't want to believe that you can just see right in, but like I got in there and I went to the urinal section as men have been known to do, and while I'm in there, I just like have like this weird feeling. Do you ever like know when you're like when someone's looking at you and it's like you can't see them or anything, but you just like you feel like you're being watched? Has that happened to you before? I'm sure it has.
I don't know. I mean, that feels like something people say, but I don't feel that. Maybe I'm just unaware.
Okay. Well,
but I let me put myself in your shoes for a second. Oh, sorry, they're really small. Let me squeeze my big feet into them. And all right, I'm there. I'm with you.
It's not fair. The Crohn's disease stunted my growth a little bit, so my feet never really grew to their full potential. Big deal. I wear a 9.5 shoe. I said it. Big deal. Whatever.
We made it. Wait, by the way, we made it 5 minutes in. And
Yeah.
talked about Crohn's disease. So
no cure for it, by the
congratulations.
way. They're working on it, I think, but no cure in the near future. But so it's not like I'm prophetic or anything. It's just like sometimes you like feel eyes on you, and you look that direction, and sure enough, someone's looking your way. And I don't blame this person. In some ways, it is weird, and when I noticed that the doors were wide open, I especially like did everything in my power not to look towards the women's restroom, because I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be perceived as part of that. You know, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time is something as well. And so I just was like, that does not exist to me. However, I'm in the urinal section. Luckily, there's like those little dividers between the urinals, which is a big relief, because the men's restroom is completely in full view of the merch table. And again, the door is just wide open. It's the standard bathroom where you just walk straight in, no turns or anything. And so I look just over my shoulder, which I don't typically do when I'm in the restroom, but I did this time, and I made dead, full-on eye contact with a woman in her mid-20s, and she was just staring at me.
Strange.
It's strange, and it's so strange beyond what I think you're even perceiving it to be strange, because I want you to think about this from like the full lens of your entire life. That is, I am almost positive the first time. I know it's the first time I ever made eye contact with a woman while going to the bathroom, and I am almost positive it's the first time I've ever made eye contact with any person, man or woman, while going to the bathroom. And like, it felt weird. It felt like a very strange thing, like a very exposed moment for me. And obviously, like, nothing was visible, but it's like you can use your brain to fill out the rest of the picture of what you're seeing when I'm just standing there.
Right.
It's like you never make eye contact.
Maybe
like,
she was disgusted. Maybe that's why she was staring. She was disgusted.
She should have done something about it besides just stare at me. She was staring at me like I'm the bad guy here.
You were, though, because in her mind, if she was filling in the rest of the picture, she said, "Oh,
dude, don't say it like that."
That's what, like, I'm just saying, like, that's probably what happened. But I'm just giving, Occam's razor, that type of thing.
Did you what razor? What?
Occam's razor. It's like the most likely scenario is probably the one that's going to happen. That's that sort of thing.
Okay, I don't necessarily know exactly what that means for the situation.
I'm sure you don't.
No, like, explain why you said that. I want you just to not say that and like pretend to
because that's the most likely or most reasonable scenario or reasoning. So that's probably the
I
reason.
think maybe she was just interested.
In
me.
Bro, I just stammered.
Oh, no.
We're back.
His tongue is
We're back. I'm not
tied
even
right now.
sick. I'm not even sick.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to be stammering and stuttering like that. But what I was gonna say is, bro, you're engaged.
That's not.
How dare you?
I'm not interested at all.
How dare you?
I don't want some bathroom peering creep anywhere near me. I can't.
Let's
help
call it like it is. Let's call it like it is.
Yes.
A creepy little weird girl.
Creepy little weird girl.
Yeah.
We know him. We've been around him. We know him well sometimes.
And so what does Hutch have to do with this other than that he was around?
He was just around. And we talked about it after. He was kind of like my guidance counselor to talk me through that situation. Cause like, I think he was on the same page. It's very weird to think about making eye contact with a woman while you're in the restroom. It's never happened to me before, and I don't want it to happen again.
You didn't wink at her, did you?
No, I actually looked back pretty quickly because I didn't want to lock eyes longer than I had to.
And you didn't see her again?
I didn't.
Mystery woman?
I may have. It was actually.
That's not a funny joke.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it then. Welcome back to Until We Agree. Get owned. Sorry, I control the edit, and I have plenty of time to edit this one, so I don't care.
Oh, you have plenty of time to edit this one?
Yeah, I bet that's going to get cut out. So, that's
Hit it,
it.
Hutch.
You know what?
No, I'm cutting that out before you. No, that's not going to be any faster. Okay.
Okay.
Hit it, Hutch.
You know what?
Okay, so yeah, that was it. Bathroom story with Hutch, kind of around.
I will say, the more I think about it, like,
It's a good bathroom story.
the creepier it gets.
Yeah.
What did she want with you?
That's why it felt.
What was on her mind?
It feels like it could have been threatening for sure. But yeah, I mean, frankly, I feel like it's hard to get a better I don't think I can get a better bathroom story than that anytime soon. That was a big bathroom moment, and I'm glad it happened. And during the peak of Until We Agree. Follow us on Instagram at Until We Agree, by the way, and TikTok at Until We Agree.
And TikTok. We are cooking on TikTok.
TikTok's doing really, really good. We're that's definitely our strongest platform right now, and it's a lot of fun. So check us out over there. And yeah, once we get to 10,000 followers on whichever platform hits it first, we're going to New York City and doing the foot race and talking about the forbidden bathroom debate until we get to 10,000 followers.
Yeah, if you like bathroom stories, you're going to love this
You're
one.
going to love that one. And Hutch
Maybe
is
she
gonna
knew. Maybe she knew, and that's why she was staring at you with disgust.
She needed to create a story to get the numbers up. Yeah, totally. So that's the bathroom story. I have one more topic.
Wait.
Oh.
Well, before you go, because speaking of TikTok, that's one of my things I was going to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, let's hit it.
I think I figured out why. Like, I know our last one, we had pretty similar numbers, but why TikTok hates you and why I was getting like thousands of views while you were getting like tens.
Sure.
I think I figured it out.
I did too, and you're gonna try to be funny with yours, but there's an actual answer, I think. But
No,
go ahead.
I really do. So I think what happened, like, it realized that you were switching back and forth between accounts and liking and commenting your own, like you were your own sycophant. You were liking and commenting on your own.
But I do
and
that
it
with
was
yours
so
too.
sad.
I do that
no,
with
and
yours.
it was so sad.
Bro, don't
that's-
tell the
but that's-
people that I like it on 3
that's
different
so
accounts to
sad.
start the posting. Don't
And
tell
it's-
people.
No,
that.
but I'm just saying it's so sad.
I do it with
and
yours.
so-
I do it with yours too.
No, and I hear you, but it's just so sad. And
It's
so
not so sad. Stop pushing
sad.
that narrative like it's so sad. That's just trying to get the algorithm boosting it immediately off the ground.
No, and how's that working for yours though?
It's doing fine now. I've realized what the issue is. I think we've all realized what the issue is for whatever reason, my IP address was actually blacklisted because I posted from here once last week and it did the same
Maybe
thing.
it's because you have 12 accounts.
I have 3 accounts, and one of them is at Until We Agree. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Until We Agree, by the way, and give us 5 stars on this podcast, please.
Yeah, we've been asking for weeks and nobody's
Please.
done a single one.
Please just give us 5 stars if you listen to the podcast. We're begging you. We're on our knees right now. Tyler's on his knees right now.
Matt was urinating,
and someone
and
looked
no-
at
and
me,
somebody-
but I didn't even get
somebody
5
watched.
stars.
and then my bathroom doors open all the time because it always closes, and so I had to get a doorstop to put in there just for convenience. So I rarely put the doorstop out, and so I just keep it open.
Bro, what
Nobody's
are
in
you-
here,
what are
but like,
what are
yeah,
you talking-
what,
what are you
like well, that's what
talking-
that's
why-
what we deal with every day.
Why are you spilling that right now?
No, and that's what we deal with every day.
And all we need
Okay?
is one little 5-star review from you.
Just one little 5-star review.
If you send us a screenshot, we'll give you a special gift on Instagram of you giving us 5 stars. Prove that you've given us 5 stars, and we'll give you a bonus gift on Instagram. But
Yeah.
anyways, I posted once last week on TikTok from my house that I always post at, and it did the same thing where it just didn't get any views. It wasn't like it was getting a ton of views and no likes. It got no views at all. It just refused to get plays. So what I did the rest of the week is I posted at my fiance's house, and it acted totally normal. And I think we've been pretty competitive this week. It's been a 50-50 split on who's won each
It's
TikTok.
been good. It's
Yeah.
been good.
It's been competitive. So we're doing good there. But yeah, it's not
Wait until it
because
finds out that you're cheating the system again by jumping IP.
I don't see how
addresses.
it's
TikTok's gonna be furious.
I don't see how it's cheating the system. You like all the posts too.
I don't know what you're talking about. And what I do, yeah, sure, I like them, but you go and comment on your own, and it's
I comment
like,
on yours just as
you're-
much as I comment on mine.
No, but you comment on yours, and you're like, honestly, it's kind of sad.
Bro,
you're
let me
like-
put you on for 1 second to what engagement is. Engagement is what drives our content. If we're not
Bro is
this
engaged, and
feels
he
like-
doesn't even know what engagement
This feels
is.
like it shouldn't even be like a conversation we're having in the podcast. This feels like it should be a behind closed doors, like business meeting conversation that you're airing out to
No,
everyone.
and this is so sad that you literally just got engaged, and you don't even know what it is. It's when you propose, and
dude, I'm keeping that bad joke in. My joke,
Yeah,
no
you
one's
are.
even gonna know what happened.
Yeah,
That
you
was that
are.
was the worst joke of the whole show so far.
okay.
So, if
Well, my bathroom door is wide open. By the way.
Good. You live alone, and I don't see why it would ever be an issue. Anyways,
It's not.
yeah. Last week, I won the poll like I normally do. It's getting kind of silly how bad you are at these debates and how many you lose.
You
And you
guys
lost
just don't
another one.
understand that I want to wear the Spider-Man costume when we race.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, so you can look like a dweeb. Anyways, this was kind of it's kind of a Q&A question, which you can always leave as a Q&A question in the comments here or on Instagram at Until We Agree, or just text us if you get our numbers. I don't know how you would, but if you got it, send it that way. Someone texted me and said, so what about dunking an Oreo in milk? Is milk then a sauce? And I think that's an overwhelming yes.
Dunking an Oreo in milk. Does it have to be an Oreo? I guess it could be any cookie.
It could be anything. But then what about, why is cereal suddenly the line we draw where it's not a sauce?
Because you're not dunking it.
You don't dunk sauces all the time. Sometimes sauces are already mixed into the food you eat.
That's true, but it's not like floating in sauce typically.
Bro's befuddled right now. This is crazy.
No, it's just not. It's not floating
you have
in
to,
sauce.
You have to
like-
acknowledge that milk is a sauce for cereal, and milk can be a sauce for an Oreo now, and you have nowhere to go. We don't have to debate this because I know you already lost it.
I just don't know if milk on its own is thick enough to be considered a sauce.
I don't see how it could.
And
be.
it's typically savory dishes as well. We went over this, and I
Okay,
would say
but
Oreos are the opposite of savory.
Saying typically is such a silly word to use in a debate because it's like it doesn't mean all the time. You know, like you're sounding ridiculous.
Yeah,
You say,
I mean,
typically
I guess,
it's savory.
I guess
There are so
I
many
guess
sauces that aren't
if we
savory.
if we stop saying typically, you can just devoid everything of meaning, and that sounds like something you like to do.
Well, no, I actually give words meaning because I recognize that words don't fall into
We're done
these
with
tight
this.
little
No,
these
and
tight
we're done with
little
this.
columns that you like to live in.
No, you're.
We can be done
no.
with it. That's fine. You've sounded silly so far today, so we can move on. Do you have any more topics before we dive into the debate of the day?
Well, I talked about my TikTok one, but what I had for you now is, well, first and foremost, no, I don't have anything else to say right now. I think we should just pass it on over. I know you've got another debate for us.
Sure. Yeah. For those of you who weren't listening, we just had about 38 seconds of dead air while Tyler went through his notes and decided that none of them were worthy of being discussed.
I have one thing, but I'll save it till later because it'll kind of go with the ending segment better.
Okay, sounds good. So, the debate this week, I thought of kind of while we were talking last Friday. I think it might have been we talked on the phone for 58 minutes and 0 seconds exactly last Friday, which we talk on the phone a lot, and it's usually for pretty long amounts of time. I can't remember the last time we've had a 58-minute phone call. So that in itself was pretty special. But the reason we did it was because we had a lot of music to talk about. Music gets released on Fridays a lot. One of
New Music
Tyler's
Friday.
New Music Friday. One of Tyler's favorite musicians of all time released, probably his favorite,
Definitely my favorite.
his favorite of all time, released his first song. Jon Bellion released his first single in 6 years, 5 years. So
6 years.
we were talking about that. We'll get into it more. Criminally average song, and Tyler is going to do his best to fight those accusations that I just threw out.
I wouldn't. Here's the thing.
Didn't
It's
deliver.
not his best song. It's not his
Yeah.
best song, but it's good. It's just it's not like he released it, and it's more about how, because for the last 6 years he was like didn't want to release anything because they owned his masters, so he got his masters back, and so it's more of a message about like, oh, I'm back and I feel like a kid again because the song's Kid Again. And so it was more of just like the timing, and it's like a fun song to release at that time. I didn't expect it to be his best work. But
Yeah, and I think
it's still a good song, still fun.
And so I think the divide that we're having, and this is not necessarily a debate, which is very weird because a thought that I had after that conversation is you kind of default to being a hater on new stuff, and I try my best to like give it the benefit of the doubt. And I think in this situation we're actually totally opposite, where I think you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt when this was just just an underwhelming song. Anyways, not the
Okay.
point. I love Jon Bellion too. I think he's going to release some really good stuff. But that was the jumping off point to this conversation that we had. And I know we see differently on this. And so I think it would be a good debate to hash out on the pod. So here's the question. Is it better for musicians to attempt to evolve their style / experiment with new forms of music, or continue creating the exact same kind of music that they had in the past that got them, I guess, like their notoriety and what they're like known for, if that makes sense? Tyler knows it makes sense.
I think it's a stupid question because, like, your argument is that you just want to hear the same thing over and over again, which is wild.
Yes.
But, like, there's a fine line, though, between, like, evolving and going somewhere you want to go, or the audience wants to hear, and just, like, changing styles and being bad. Like, there's two examples I can give.
Okay, go ahead.
MGK was a rapper, and then he got into punk rock.
Yeah.
And I think I can speak for all of us when, like, that Lonely Road song he released, I think I can speak for all of us when I say none of that's any good.
It's all bad.
And so when I hear Harry Styles, for example, he had like a folky, rocky first album, and now it's like, it's like pop, but it's not, it's still like instrumental and all that, but it's evolved and it's a different sound, but it's still good.
It's still,
like,
it is still good.
I like that ride.
But do not think it would, I'm personally, Harry Styles is a great example of someone who I think nailed it the first time.
And he did great the first time, but why would you want to hear that album 6 times in a row?
Okay, let me tell you why. Here's my whole stance. I can think of so many bands and musicians that I have been incredibly huge fans of, and they're still making music today, and I could not care less about it because it's not the music that I want to hear. If I wanted to hear different kinds of music, I would find a different band. An example of a very mainstream person who does this, and I think he even can acknowledge it as well, because he doesn't even really push his new music, because I think he understands that people don't like it as much. Ed Sheeran, who I was truly obsessed with,
in love with.
Everything me as a musician, because, you know, not to make it a whole thing, but everything I like loved being as a musician, I learned from like his first 3 albums. And so I tried to emulate everything that he did, and that kind of created the style that I love today. I couldn't care less about the last 3 albums he's released, because it's not the same kind of music that I want to hear from him. And it happens over and over again with these bands that I've loved, that then suddenly they do something that they're not known for, and they don't do great. The fact that Ed Sheeran does the acoustic, like, ballady singer-songwriter stuff so perfectly well, and then transitions into this cookie-cutter pop stuff that blows up for different reasons, but like that's not what I saw him excel at, and so I don't want to hear the other stuff, because it's not what I'm interested in anymore. And so I would rather him create the same kind of music he always has, and if I want to listen to a different kind of music, I will find someone who also excels at that kind of music.
I get that, but I don't think, if the first album he put out, plus,
okay,
we'll skip the collaboration stuff.
Sure.
If that came out today, I don't think it'd be as popular. That's just not like the music era we're in. I don't know if you would have found it, is what I'm saying, because like it wouldn't have blown up in the same way.
I don't think I would have liked Ed Sheeran enough to care about this album coming out. And I think it may have been, what I think the point I'm trying to make is, musicians take time to evolve. I totally understand that. And so if someone doesn't nail it the first time, I'm trying to think. Harry Styles, I think, is actually a pretty good example of, because he has 3 albums, right? I think he nailed it on the second album. I think that's exactly what I wanted to hear from him. And so when I heard Harry's House come out, that was no longer what I wanted to hear necessarily from him, and so I didn't listen to it as much.
Interesting. See, I liked the first one, and then I liked the second one more, and then I liked the third one the most. Okay,
and that's fine if that's what you want, but like for me, I would rather him stay right in the spot that I like from him. I don't want to hear new styles from him, because he does what I think he does and it's all personal, but I think it can be true for everyone. If you like Harry's most recent album the most, and then he does something way off kilter for the next one, and it's stuff that you don't care about anymore, you're going to be like, wow, I'm kind of disappointed in that. And if that's like the general consensus for everyone, that's how these musicians fall off. Ed Sheeran's, over half his set list is his old stuff, and that's not normal. If you're still growing and evolving your music into the stuff that people want to hear, that's not what you would see at concerts, is them just playing their hits from the old stuff that people aren't necessarily caring about for the new stuff.
But if he just released another plus sounding album, would you not be like, oh, we've heard this before though? Like it's like
I don't think I would,
it's all
because
the same.
Because there's so many different people doing different kinds of music. Would I listen to all the new stuff as much as the old stuff? Probably not, just because there's this grander library of songs now. But I want him to stay in the lane that he does the best for my preferences. I know he's not going to only cater to me, but this is just my personal desires, which I know are never going to come true. But if he stayed in his lane, I would consume more of what he does.
Yeah, I just don't think. But like, what about the opposite? Like, what if somebody makes music you hate, and then eventually they start making the kind of music you like? Would you accept it then if you didn't like them before?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Name one.
If I'm not,
one example that's ever happened, because I feel like that doesn't happen.
I
feel like it's always like, they're coming to ruin my genre.
Well, there's people who do it. Definitely. The band that I'm gonna call out right now who did this, people are gonna be like, why is Matt listening to this band? This feels like a kind of a weird band.
I know exactly who you're
5 Seconds of Summer.
Yeah.
They started out way more like punky than they needed to be, and then and I liked it, okay, but then they created this album in 2017, 2018 called Youngblood, and it was one of the most perfect albums I've ever heard personally, because it was exactly what they needed them to be. So they did something different and it worked, and that's the point where I want them to stop. I know they're not going to stop because I'm not their only fan, but what I'm saying, that this is just my desire, is I need musicians to do exactly what they do best, and then let someone else do the stuff that they do best, and then that's how we're gonna get the best music possible. Shout out.
Well, what if what they do best, they haven't done it yet, and it's not the stuff you like?
That's something that I think it's a case by case basis, but I would rather, once they find, you have to know when you're gonna find it. If you're catapulting to the top of the world, and like everyone's loving what you're doing, you have to know that's what you do.
But
right,
that's one side of it. But on the other side, they just probably changed from something you didn't like to something you did like, and so now they're thinking, oh, maybe the big changes is the way to go, because that's what worked.
But over and over again, we see that it's not.
I don't know, because Sheeran is wildly popular.
Not as popular as he was though, by any means.
You know who's a good example of like doing something and then hammering it into the ground though?
Who?
The Weeknd.
I don't know The Weeknd super well, so I can't speak to it. But The Weeknd, but I know every time he releases a song, it goes crazy. It becomes his biggest song ever because he keeps building off of what he does the best. Right?
He does do that. Yeah, he kind of just has he has one mode, and it's really good, but it is that one mode.
So why don't we just let him keep doing that, and that's great. I don't need him to fill any more gaps, because someone else has already filled that gap and they do it really well.
I guess I mean, when I've listened to somebody for almost 10 years, like Jon Bellion, like if he just released The Human Condition Part 2 or whatever, and it was the kind of same formula all the way through, I don't think I like it very much, because I already have that album.
I think
I've listened to it a million times.
But I think I would. And you listen to it a million times, so I think that proves that you would like it.
I know, but I have that album to do that. I don't need another album.
They're not
going to
be the exact same songs, though. Then you just have more of the same songs.
I know they're not the exact same songs, but if they're like the same formula, the same vibe on every song, like, and it's just like an extension of that album, call it a double album if you want, but give me something new as well to chew on.
I don't know if I want to hear something new though, because someone else already does that. Think about that rat, that dirty little stinky little rat, Morgan Wallen, who's selling out Neyland Stadium.
But
over
does someone
again,
do it?
Who's releasing 36 songs that all sound the exact same, and people eat that up. People want to hear what they want to hear from people. There are plenty of musicians that you can discover who are like, I wish Ed Sheeran's great. I wish he was more poppy. There's a more poppy Ed Sheeran out there, you know. I would rather. Yeah, but they don't do Ed Sheeran poppy like Ed Sheeran does poppy. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. You can't say, oh well, Ed Sheeran can't do pop because somebody already does Ed Sheeran pop. Ed Sheeran can. I know he can do pop, and he does it. He probably does do it better than almost anybody. But I have stopped listening to him completely because I don't care about it at all. if I do listen to him, I'm only gonna listen to the stuff that I know he does well that I like.
I haven't listened either. You know who
Exactly.
who does,
No one's listened.
You know who does stick to their craft very well, but it seems to always be kind of new?
Tell me.
It's like a weird balance of both. Hosier.
Yeah, I think and he's just someone who, yeah,
Filled
he
with
is.
so much whimsy.
That's the thing, is he just leans into his whimsy, and so like it's possible that he's doing the same thing over and over again, but the whimsy just kind of distracts you from that.
It
fact.
overtakes you, yeah.
He sounds like a woodland elf just frolicking through the forest every time he sings. It's sick.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like 6'5".
And he's like 6'5". But yeah, so this is just, frankly, I'm gonna be honest. Going down in the archives of Until We Agree, this might be our
Most civilized.
most civil, but also like just like
Meaningful.
like it just like
Thoughtful.
was true. Like I think we both made great points, and I think it was a necessary debate that people are gonna want to hear, because I think this is gonna be great discourse. Please, if you haven't left a comment yet on Spotify, you can. This is like actually genuinely something that like I hope you can tell that we like are actually like we care about this. It's not just a different variation of can salad be considered a plant?
Chopsticks.
You know?
Oh,
What did you say?
nothing.
What did you say?
I said chopsticks.
Okay. No, that's a good thought, buddy. But yeah, so leave a comment there, throw one on Instagram, and then go over to TikTok. We're having fun on TikTok. You're not going to want to miss it over there. So Until We Agree on all platforms, check it out. Join the Rat Pack.
And what I will say is we have a combined age of 53, which if you can do the math on that, that means one of us is older than the other.
That is how all of humanity has worked for the history of time. Yes.
And you're older than me.
What does that have to do with anything? I like to think that I have some wisdom built on you too. And I think that shows week in and week out.
No, wisdom's one way to put it. Senility might be a better fit.
What was that word?
Senility?
Senile? Is that what you're saying? Like I'm senile?
Yeah, but like senility. It's like, it would be the, I guess it'd be an adverb? Would it be an adverb?
Bro, I don't know. I'm too senile to figure that one out. That one's going over my head a little bit.
Adverb maybe? Did I just throw in a
You
sick
just
adverb?
you actually just said adverb multiple times. So I think you think it's an adverb, and I think we all agree that you think it's an adverb.
Senilely would be the adverb version.
So you just said nothing. Senility sounds
No,
like
senility is a
noun.
word.
That's a noun.
It's
I
the
think.
condition of being senile.
Yeah. So
Which you have.
a noun for sure. I don't think so. I think I'm doing okay mentally. Speaking of someone who's doing okay mentally, Kim. It's Q&A time.
I did forget.
Okay.
I did have a story I was supposed to tell, and I completely forgot about it.
Do we want to do it now, or do you want to do it after Q&A?
Whenever you want to do it, man.
Well, I don't know what the story is, so why don't
It's
we
just my climbing story, but whatever you want.
Why don't we do Q&A, and then we'll let you do that, because we have some Tyler trivia. So why don't we start with the Tyler story before Tyler
Aw,
trivia?
man.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Kim wants to know, and if you want to be like Kim and get your question shouted out live on air, leave us a comment for a question that you want to hear us debate live on Until We Agree with Matt and Tyler. This is Matt from Until We Agree with Tyler from Until We Agree. So Kim asks, worst movie sequel ever made? Didn't
What you got?
even have a qualifying question word to start the question. She just said worst movie sequel ever made. So, what I have two. Do you want me to start with just the first one?
Sure.
Okay, my first one is Avatar 2. I haven't seen it, but I'm just guessing it's not any good because no one's seen it.
I haven't seen it, and we don't know where that money's coming from.
No one has, and no one ever will. But that's my first one. I have a real answer after this as well. But what's your first one?
I guess it would be like it is kind of technically 2, but Hangover 2 and 3.
Sure. Real big
They didn't
fall
need
off
to
there.
happen.
Yeah.
They didn't need to happen. Hangover 1 was like,
Bro talking to Siri right now?
I don't know. I just threw my phone down, and then Siri
Siri went crazy.
wanted to know my location. I'm sorry about that.
She should probably know where it's at.
But yeah, no, Hangover 2 and 3 just didn't need to happen. Hangover 1 was a banger, and then they just released 2 more for the cash grab, obviously, but it was so bad, both of them.
And I bet they did grab cash. Those things went crazy. But
Probably, yeah.
you're right. No, those are great options. I said I have a real one also. I haven't seen this one either, but I'm just guessing here. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Can't imagine it was. Can't imagine it was peak cinema.
Yeah.
That's
no.
just that's just a gut call. I have seen Paul Blart Mall Cop 1. What's crazy about those movies is the daughter is like 28 in that, but she plays like a 13-year-old.
Yeah, well, like
that
child
girl is
labor
like
laws and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
that girl has like played children for 40 years. It's pretty wild. But yeah, so Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, I'm just guessing out there, but that's it. Do you have any more or is that it?
I mean, I guess like you could put the new sequels of Star Wars out there as well. It's like
You mean
just
the
beating
best
a dead
Star Wars
horse.
movies?
We're just beating a dead horse.
Those are the best ones.
Joe Dirt 2.
I haven't seen Joe Dirt 1, but just
Paul,
from the,
Paul
the
Blart
name.
2 kind of just threw that at me too. Like we got in this weird phase. It was around the same time probably because Joe Dirt is like it's fun, and then Joe Dirt 2. I haven't seen it.
No one has.
But I would assume I think it was a Amazon Video exclusive. So
Oh no,
something along those lines.
Oh,
so it's
no.
tough to come by. It's tough to see. So
yeah, for sure. But Kim, that was a great question. That really kind of captured exactly who we are as a podcast. So we appreciate that. And I know it just hit me just now. We've been doing a lot of Until We Agreeing on this episode, but we're about to wrap it up. I know that's kind of against the premise of the show because we keep going until we agree, and we've happened to agree over and over again. But we have one more thing to do, is to have Tyler tell a story, and then I'll do trivia, which is definitely just one thing.
my story is not like even long or exciting.
Oh,
I just took
perfect.
a lead climbing class, which is fun because it's like you're clipping in the ropes,
Uh-huh.
and the falls are very scary. So I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
you guys updated on my outdoor progress.
And if we don't get updates, it might mean that it did not go well.
I feel like you would hopefully bring an update to the people.
I would let people
You
know
know.
that you are no longer speaking out of your mouth for sure. If and when that happens. So, why don't we transition into the final part of Until We Agree with Matt and Tyler? Tyler trivia, where one of us just surprises the other with trivia, and the person whose name is on the trivia title is one who has to answer the question. So this week it's Tyler trivia. He doesn't know countries.
Next week it's you. Yes, I
he
do.
he quizzed me on names last or 2 weeks ago, and now I'm gonna quiz him on a different kind of name. I need Tyler to give me, and of course a 3-strike system as usual, the top 5 most common first names for serial killers, known serial killers.
Known serial killers.
Because I'm sure there's plenty of serial killers still out there, and shout out to them for real. But these are the ones who have been caught. First names.
John.
That's number 1. And again, this one I'll give you, the only hint I'm gonna give you today is this one is pure history, no herstory.
Yeah, I figured. But John, because there's John Wayne Gacy, and probably more.
I'm sure there's more. Yeah, it's number 1. So
if it's
there you
number
go.
1 in the most common list, I would assume there's more. Ted.
I think there was just the one Ted, and then the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
I thought there was Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and Ted Bundy.
Hey, that might be 2, but this list has maybe more than that even.
Okay.
That's one strike.
One strike. Okay, so we got John. That's number
Yeah.
1.
You have said John 6 times now, but yes, that is number 1.
Charles.
This guy knows like 3 serial killers and is gonna say their names first. No,
Richard.
not-
Richard.
Okay. You have 2 strikes, but you have 2. Richard is number 3.
Okay. I'm out of serial killers, unfortunately. So now I'm just going off names that sound
think of
malicious.
Some names, yeah.
Okay, so we've got John, we've got Richard. We know it's not Charles.
And you
As
have
in
said
Manson.
all these names before, yes.
Now I'm just recapping.
Everyone has heard them, yes.
I'm recapping. And then, so, okay.
Have you said John yet? Do you want to say John again?
Yes, no, John. And
Okay,
2,
that's right.
Give me not a hint on 2, but like what if I needed to think of the name from number 2, where would this person work?
Number 2 would work in like, he'd be like senior level financial management.
Jeff.
Good thought. But no.
Jeff Epstein.
The New York financier.
Yep.
That one was just that one didn't count. You knew that
That one didn't count. That was a fun joke.
Yeah.
Upper level,
Mid senior, not upper.
mid senior. Okay. Oh, that does change things. It's a fairly common name then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That is becoming evident. Yes.
What's give me number 4. Where would they work?
Number 4 would be an independent presidential candidate in the mid 2020s.
The mid 2020s. Oh, Robert.
There you go. Okay, there you go. All right, he's doing well.
Wait a
And then-
second.
Okay, so we need the mid senior level executive for number 2, and then for number 5, my best hint will be that he's probably like a high school football coach or like an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, Michael. Wow.
Okay,
And then number
one shot
2
to get this one,
would
and if you get this, you get a free Until We Agree merch sticker.
be. Okay.
We
I
should
gotta
give one
think.
of those out for the prize if you give proof that you've given 5 stars.
We'll mail it to you.
We will mail it
All
to you,
right.
and that's not even a tax. That's not even a tax like evading thing. That's it. Leave 5
That's
stars. Send us a screenshot on Instagram at Until We Agree in the DMs, and we'll put you into a drawing for winning an Until We Agree sticker. Man, that's cool. Okay, last guess here.
David.
No way, you nailed that.
Really?
Yeah. Great
Oh,
job.
all I could think about was David Miscavige from Scientology. I was like, that's a bad guy,
Sure,
but he's not a serial killer to my
Shout out
knowledge.
Scientology. Well, you never know with them. I've not heard great things only from the Until We Agree podcast. The only podcast where you just kind of get information that you never knew you needed. But that's
And
it.
We go until we agree.
So true, and we finally did it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, thank you for listening.